Guys, evening with Pops. It's Kirby right here. You already know.
This is OGK Nice.
Lee. You know me.
This is Zoe right here, in case y'all didn't know. Yo, but you like that topic?
I do. I love that topic.
Oh my
man.
God. I want you guys to kind of sit back and think. Is it better to be thought bad than dumb or super smart?
Yeah.
Because a lot of us go through that, you know what I mean? My little brother was super smart. I was smart, but he made me feel like the dummy. And my family used to always throw that in my face. Be like your little brother. Why can't you do like your little brother? Study hard like your little brother. But by me being the eldest, the alpha of the family, I want him to follow me. So I couldn't be as smart as he was. I was as smart as I could. I wasn't dumb, but it got more attention being bad. I got so much more attention being bad that I took it on as a lifestyle. Not saying I was dumb. I just wasn't as smart as my brother, but I'm smarter than most.
Yeah.
But what happens when you got a super educated kid? What happens when you got a super educated kid that's being picked on in school for being smart? Sometimes it's easier for him to make an outburst or to do something to feel normal.
Yeah.
Because that's all we all want is to be normal. But as a child, how do you address your children when you think they're not living up to their expectations?
Yeah, I got this one. I mean, for me growing up, I always felt like, I was a bright student, a bright individual. And that was something that was always a little conflicting for me because, you know what, when you look the way we look and you want to excel academically, for people to see, like, I guess, our white counterparts look at you and like, okay, like, this is a smart guy, but when you're black, it's like, oh, like, you're nerdy, like, blah, blah, like, they really, bro, black dudes, like, an Oreo. Those kind of things. And I think that's a stigma that as time has passed, that stigma has been broken, but that's something I faced as well, too. Like, oh, you sound like an Oreo, you sound like this. And to me, black has never been, a way of talking. It's just been a color. There's no way to act black. You don't sound black. You don't act black.
True.
I'm gonna be black because that's what my image is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's
I
who
look
you
black.
are.
That's
You
who I am.
black.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, to Pops' point, you have a lot of bright kids that to try to fit in will be disruptive or disturb things or make themselves small so they can fit in a circle instead of playing big.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a scary way to navigate. I mean, you can even talk about code switching. Sometimes you with your boys, you feel more inclined to talk a certain way. Then when you're around corporate folks, you gotta see there's another way too. So
Come on. Feel that?
Emily George.
All right. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
you can get lost in the mix of all these different personalities you gotta face in order to really fit in. So it's something that I think we have to help young black men navigate. Like, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be smart. But don't play small to fit in any circle.
Right. You gotta be careful of the mask that you wear.
Exactly.
We done invented everything, but what did those kids have to go through to be that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What did the B student have to go through to show his mother that he was okay being a B student?
Yeah.
Some children are okay just getting through.
Yeah, I mean, you see some of the biggest inventors now, like folks that dropped out of college, or even you see their high school grades. I think it was it was like one of those tech guys. But he had like a 2.6 in high school. Go back to Obama. Like, this is a guy who had hit every point that he needed to hit to show his qualifications. He had that resume, but everybody questioned him. Versus like our current president. This is not a studious individual, somebody who has all the accolades, but he's able to run the world. And it just goes to show like the standards are different. So I understand like the conflict that's internally for us. We say, okay, should I be smart or should I be bad?
Right.
Is it better to fit in with that crowd or fit in with a different crowd?
Should I be dumb if I'm not, or should I be bad?
Yeah.
A lot of people, man, they don't want to put themselves out there like that.
I get it.
When you with that certain clique or you with that crowd, like, y'all know the answer, but I'm not gonna raise my hand. I want them to raise their hand. And like, I sit back and I look at myself. The teacher be like, oh, he don't pay attention in class, but he do the work on his own to get the answer.
But he don't really have class participation.
Not no more.
But he'll go to himself somewhere and come up with the proper
He
answers.
get the answer.
Right.
Oh, we asked students to answer the question. He don't answer the question on the paper. He got this shit 100% right. But why didn't you do that?
Why ain't doing it in a certain format?
My point is,
No, I had that problem in math.
I hated that shit when I'm done.
I did too. Look, I had that problem in math because the number 2 pencil, just like when kids would scratch the blackboard, and they like, oh, don't do that. The number 2 pencil made my whole body feel like that.
Yeah.
So I got used to writing with ink pens.
Okay.
And then, in math, you're not supposed to use the ink pen.
Yeah.
But I'm doing all my math in ink pen. My teachers are going berserk. But I got the right answers.
So what? They took half credit off?
Yeah, they did actually lower my grade point average because I'm using the ink pen.
Yeah.
I didn't what is the number 3 pencil, the soft lead. I could use the soft lead.
Okay.
But that original school number 2, oh my God, it dried my brain bananas, goosebumps, everything. So I did all my math in ink. So I would get failures with right answers for doing it in ink. Now, that caused my grades in math to be lower than my brothers. Don't mean I ain't smart, but I got a family that's, oh my God, in the 60s. Like we was just talking about chastising children.
Yeah.
My family didn't want to hear it. How you going to make me do something that I can't do? I'm doing the work, I'm just doing it in ink pen.
Yeah.
If it's coming out right, what's the problem?
I think it's a lot of things that, in education we standardize, and like not everybody fits that same mold. And we've seen that nowadays is that, not stuff is becoming readily available in terms of like, internet and things like that. And we're seeing that not everybody fits in that square box. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And I think it's important to realize that, everybody is a unique individual, and what they bring to the table is different as well too. If everybody was just the same, nothing would function properly. But that's just what they want sometimes. Like, okay, let's make sure everybody's the same.
But you gotta realize we're the triangle-sized pizza from the round pizza in a square box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's who we are. We're that triangle that's trying to fit in. Because as children, we just try to adapt to what we're told.
Yeah.
And then when we don't conform to what is told, then we're, stigmatized with a label.
Yeah.
Oh, he's too hyper, or he don't listen, or he don't participate. But yet, still, if you give him a book, he probably got the best comprehension out of the whole class.
Yeah.
I'm a visual learner.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could see you sit there, I could watch somebody play the drum. Play it right back like that. Can't read music for shit. But I could listen to what you just played.
And visualize.
Play it right back to you. You like, what the fuck is wrong with you? How you do that? That was quick as hell. I'm like, visual. Even in school, I was always a visual. You can put whatever you got to put up there on the board, and I catch it quick. I ain't one of those. You got to continue to do.
Go through the formula.
Like, nah, bro. Just let me see the format. I'm learning. My son is somewhat of a visual learner.
Okay.
And he gotta literally see it to understand it.
Everybody has a unique way. Like I said, everybody has a unique way of learning stuff. And for me, my numbers, I love math big time.
Yeah, we know.
But there are different formulas and techniques they use. I guess that they feel simplify things. For me, the way I learned it, that makes it a little more complex. But again, everybody learns differently, and that's something that we got to come to understand it with. And even now, like with technology being the way it is, I think we've taken away from the education system a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it.
Yeah, a lot. Because it's like, okay, let's throw tech in there. And sometimes you miss out. You really miss out.
Yeah.
You really miss out on the little lessons and stuff like that because it's so quick to pull out your calculator and do this.
Or pull out your tablet and do that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What type of message as a grandfather should I put out to them when I see them struggling in certain areas of see their education. A lot of my grandchildren are visual, but then a lot of them are hands-on.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Which is two great gifts. Either you visual or hands-on. If you ain't that, then you're considered dumb. Now you got to struggle with the bullies in school. You got to struggle with the prettiest girl you like. She don't want to mess with you because your nose running and she thinks you're dumb. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So all of these things come to play. But like I was saying, we got to find a way to reach the future, which is our children.
And it's like we don't allow people to sit there and say, okay, let's grow on this.
Right.
We'll grow on athletics, big time.
Big time.
Athletics,
right.
entertainment, or
right.
you're a good singer, or you're also good athlete to take care of it. But the academic side of it, we kind of neglect it a little bit. We downplay it.
We downplay it, right? We do.
And we really got to get to a point where, like, let's cultivate this. You know what I'm saying? Because your feet and your physical body will only take you so far. Your mind's going to take you much further. Much, much further.
Let's take Malcolm X, one of the most prolific speakers in the world. You know, rest in peace.
R.I.P.
But he started out a good kid, smart, studious, educated, because Miss Little wasn't no joke.
Yeah.
He started out super smart, but he got shunned for being smart. Like when he told the teacher, I want to be a lawyer. And the white man told him, no, son, you can't be a lawyer. Be a carpenter like Jesus. See, they want to keep us in a certain area, even when we smart. So, a lot of times we turn bad because this was a smart young man being a young man, and then realized that America wasn't going to accept his education for who he was. So for a while, he got bad.
Yeah.
Super bad. You see what I'm saying?
They say, I forget that movie, but it was the one who was like, what's the most dangerous nigga in the world? A nigga with a library card.
A nigga with a library card, yes sir.
You know what the most dangerous thing in America is, right? Nigga with a library card.
Is a very big thing that black people don't understand. You know, we're supposed to have empathy for the bad child because you don't know what caused him to be bad. But we're such a narcissist at heart. We're gonna make you do this. We order you to do this. And back in our day, wasn't no time out.
No, it's a belt.
Yeah, you got a belt, bro. Extension cord, Hot Wheel track. I got hit with everything, bro. Yo, I got shoes thrown at me. I got a lot of my education where teachers knew I was super smart. But since I wasn't as smart as my brother and they didn't know what I had to deal with when I went home, they didn't understand my actions. Like, why are you doing this?
I think you brought up a good point of empathy. You know, sometimes you don't know what people go through throughout the day to day. It's a lot of things that we deal with, you know, especially as men behind closed doors that maybe nobody ever get to hear.
True.
But that's why, you know, for me personally, it's always been about respecting everybody because, again, I don't know your story. Everybody can sit there and say, okay, this happened to me, but you would never know.
Never know.
You can't just be self say, oh, well, my day was bad. You never know what the other person's deal with. Because things may be worse, substantially worse, whatever it may be for them. You know, so I think that's key, like what you just mentioned, you know, being able to empathize with this quote unquote bad child.
Bad child, yeah.
And figure out what's going on. Because sometimes
is he really bad or is he just somebody looking for attention?
Or somebody just trying to fit in, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes, you know, that class clown might be one of the brightest kids, but he wants to fit in. He wants to, you know,
he wants everybody to love him. Yeah, he wants to feel important.
I can say that was me back in the day.
Oh yeah. You can say it again.
I can say.
Yeah, you learn things all the time, and I think that's what we really live is we continue to learn. But even just being able in that room, like for example, who you hang out with, like your parents would say, okay,
right.
if you show me your friends, I'll show you who you are.
Who you are, right?
You know what I'm saying? And it's predicated on that. It's like you're saying, empathy. Because if you can sit there and see this room of people that you enjoy having a company around, and you could feel that they're a bunch of hoodlums, bunch of troublemakers.
But you feel it.
What is that? Your kid becomes that troublemaker, that hoodlum. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Versus, okay, you surround yourself with people that actually have ambition and goals. Eventually, you gotta say, you know what? Why people doing that? Let me do the same thing. Like, these are my people. I want to do the same thing and match up with them.
Right.
And that's something that get lost sometimes.
Leading by example.
Yeah.
So I told Curb, I'm like, yo, we are not moving backwards. Everything that's for us this year, we grab it. We grabbing it by the horns, bro. Whatever God got for us this year, we
Have
got
the bull by the horn.
Like, if you trying to bring me down this year or bring us down, I'm not fucking.
That's called energy vampires in this book.
Yeah.
Just
People, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's an energy vampire. Is like you came up, like say me and Kirby not here, but you see one of your boys from up the way, right? It's like, yo, we're on this podcast, it's gonna be bad. We got to, I need you to follow me. Yo, get the fuck out of here, bro. Fuck, yo, you podcast? They laugh at him. You see what I'm saying? But what does that do for him? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because
he's telling to somebody that he thought was a friend, and the first thing they did was try to drain his energy from doing something positive.
Yeah.
They'd rather you be out there with them holding the Glock with the motherfucking switch on it. You see what I'm saying? They'd rather you be with them because they're miserable and they chose bad as a lifestyle.
Yeah, misery loves company.
Right, misery loves company. Cause I speak good because he came a long way, bro. He came a long way. You know what I mean?
We all see it. We all seen it. And, again, it's easy to go down a bad route. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes when you really want to, be smart, hang and do the right thing, it's a challenge.
It's a challenge.
It's a challenge because people will sit there and tell you, "Oh, nah, man, just do this. It's easy." But doing the right thing is never really easy all the time. You know.
I found that out late.
And it pays out dividends, you know what I'm saying? Right now, people want that instant gratification. If I do this messed up stuff right now, I get this right away and I'm good. The reality of it is, you're always going to be watching your back. And that's a scary place to be at sometimes. But if you make that sacrifice to do good, you can sleep in bed comfortably. You don't have to worry about it.
You got to worry about your shoulder.
Shoulder, none of that.
Don't worry about your loved ones getting in no caught up on, no damage or no danger. They catching those strays or whatever, man. It's just.
And bro, think about it. Like, you ain't have the best setup to start with, anyways. Your chips that you were dealt.
Right.
If we sit here talking about it, like, we run a 100-meter race, you're like 10 yards behind. You know what I'm saying? But you still push forward and persevere and doing your thing. And that's the realization of like being able to empathize.
That's the key to that too, because out of all the adversities that he did face that I witnessed, he has made a 360-degree turnaround. Yeah. Even whatever he do on his own time, that's him. But as he presents himself, as he grows into a man, and the being of not just educated, but a mature adult, you can see the maturity coming through him now.
Yeah.
Well, before like, hey, Bob, I'm gonna flip this motherfucking bag, bro. Boom, boom, boom. I got the Glock. They ain't bothering me on the block.
Yeah, it's a whole different dude.
It's a whole different dude.
He'll be bashful, man. Lucky he's brown. He can't blush or nothing like that.
Even though I hate that motherfucking hat he got on, but he wearing well. You see what I'm saying? We all got many hats.
Yeah.
We all got many hats. You got the hat of a co-worker, a businessman, an editor, a brain, a father. You got many masks you got to put on. A husband.
Yeah.
You can't come from work and bring the atrocities of the job to your home.
Nah.
Because it never be happy.
Never. You gotta leave that.
So is that being too good? Is that being too good?
It's not being good.
Is that being dumb to do that? Is he considered dumb for, oh man, you could come out party with us after work. Let's go to the bar, have some beers, go to the strip club.
It's called being responsible.
Thank you.
It's called learning from, not even learning. It's called being the man that you're supposed to be. Simple as that.
That you was bred to be.
We all could want to go like, you know what? I don't want to go home right after work. I want to go kick it with the homies. But it's at the end of the day, it's called needs and once. I do want to go, but I need to go home and go help out with
the dishes, the garbage, feeding the baby, putting the baby to bed. You know what I mean?
Like, look, let me go home and make sure my girl is.
Thank you.
Yo, babe, you eat yet? You hungry? What you want? I just got in. You want me to stop and grab on my way? You want me to grab something?
We got a good one. So you walk in the hallway or the hall to the door, the building, whatever. Oh shit!
Not saying that
No,
she
no.
ain't good.
Is that
I'm not
lamb?
saying-
Is that lamb I
She ain't
saw?
good. She could have had a long day, and she just like
Yeah, she could have had a long day and be like, he get in the house, don't smell shit. Be like, yo, babe, what's good? Baby, our son driving me crazy. This other heifer from the job don't like me. She kicking, you know,
All right,
just
so what you
talking
do in
about
that situation?
So don't worry, baby. You know what? You don't need to tell her you tired, because that's what we built for.
Because we got to step up and we got to
Thank
take
you.
care of that.
You don't even tell her, baby, this white man almost kicked his ass again. You know what I mean? Yeah, but you gotta say, you know what, mama, don't even worry about it. Because you know she holding you down. You know she holding you down. So you be like, all right, mama, tell you something. Don't even worry about it. But you have a rough day, baby? I tell you what, go lay down. You go pop that bottle of wine I bought yesterday. Pop that bottle of wine. Just sit back, turn on your soap opera or something. That poppy go in there and fix something for you good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you go in there and you take it on, even though you know you're tired, but you see the needs. That's your empathy, seeing the needs for your counterpart.
Yeah.
See, because sometimes we get
And
so
then you
caught up
get
in our own
resentment.
narcissism, we don't know when to empathize with our closest people, that meaning our women.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it's real hard for me to empathize with my women because I'm so narcissistic. You know,
want
and
what you want.
yeah, I just want what I want. It's like, why fucking dinner ain't ready? Been home all day. Why am I gonna come bring her more problems?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe her cousin just died and she got a call at noontime. And as soon as you get in, she crying like, you don't smell no food, but you ain't concerned about her crying.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? You walk in the house, she crying, and you're like, you alright? You ain't cooked? You like, what's wrong? I'm hungry. You know what I mean? But a lot of us sometimes, and that's what comes with being bad. Narcissism comes with being bad because we want what we want when we want it. So we just overlook the real situation around us that sometimes people need nourishing.
Yeah.
They need us to nourish them. You know what I mean? Console them.
Pour into them a little bit.
Right. And forget about your day because the way the Bible was set up, we supposed to be built for this to the day we die. Sweat from our brow. Right out of Genesis. Woman gonna surely bleed, have pain, make babies. But our asses, black, white, yellow, red, blue, or gold, we're gonna work our asses to the day we die. Yo, that's what our life is as men.
Yeah.
And if you can't accept the fact that you have to work hard at whatever you do, whether it's empathetic, narcissistic, you just can't go half-ass.
Yeah.
God don't even like that. You neither cold nor hot. So I spew you. What do you say? Yeah, you got to be right. You either got to be one or the other. Look, ain't no great area for those of us on medication that's trying to live day by day. Then you wonder why some people do drugs
Or drink.
or drink.
Yeah.
They do that just to suffice and get through the day or get
Because-
through what they got to go through.
Like Curb said earlier, it is so hard to do what is right
Yeah.
that it's easy for us to always go wrong.
Yeah.
Is it easier for a pretty girl to go to school and do what's right, or be thought as a dumb blonde, or she's gonna be loved in the stripper community because men gonna come throw dollars at her? You see what I'm saying? But now you do have some that's doing a bad thing for a good cause, but then you have some And then when they get a guy, like we said before, you're only good as your next paycheck.
Yeah.
What have you done for me lately?
Right.
Nah, what have you done for me? What have you done for me right now?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be lately.
Yeah, that was Janet Jackson. that's when Janet was in control.
Yeah.
Janet don't control shit no more. You know, but
Let's go like this though. I mean, in life, right? It's always choices that you have to make. You know, whether good, bad, and different. And what we discussed was, you know, is it easy to be smart or is it easy to be bad?
That's right.
But the realization of it is this: as you get older and see life for what it is, if you get that opportunity to live an extended life, you realize that taking those shortcuts and being bad will never pay out.
Never pay out.
So the message we're trying to send out through the podcast, through, you know, these moments that we share with each other, evenings with Pops, is to let you know that life is always a challenge, depending on however you want to navigate it. It's always going to be a challenge.
That's right.
But just because it's an easy way out doesn't mean it's good for you to take it. Sometimes seek the guidance of others, learn from examples,
Yes.
and take it in and soak it in.
Yeah.
Take it.
Like,
Can't say no better.
Only thing I could add on to is that the way I live my life so bad, being smart, not wanting to be dumb, but when you look at it in the long run, what I did was dumb as hell. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I'm the man got to sit here before y'all now, one leg, 8 fingers later, because I'm just getting it. You know what I'm saying? As I said the last one, I don't officially get it, but I'm really just getting it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I realized how hard it was to do good, but as I started adapting to doing what's right, first I have to do right for myself in order to do right by anybody or anyone.
Yeah.
So I can only speak from my own personal experience, because nobody ever sat me down and said, Kenny, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
They just say, yo, you always doing some bullshit, blah, 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 blah. They never say why. Why are you doing this? So I can say, because I'm smarter than my little brother. You know, maybe I'm smarter than him. Give me a minute. Maybe I'll learn slower or something.
Yeah.
But I know my pursuit of education, it grew from me being bad and being shunned. Always had bad women. They love bad boys.
Yeah.
But that even gets old after